Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about the New York Jets lowballing Marcus Maye. Why? Well, we'll get into it, but before we get started, just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast wherever it is that you get your podcast episodes, and don't forget about that giveaway either. So Ian Rappaport came out and said that the Jets are unlikely to sign Marcus Maye to a contract extension because the two sides are far apart. The deadline is tomorrow for players that were franchise tagged, which really doesn't come as a surprise. I would like Marcus Maye to be signed to an extension, and I'm not saying anything like 4 or 5 years at a crazy AAV like $15 million a year, but at a reasonable rate. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Now, according to Ian Rappaport, supposedly the Jets' offer was coming in at 20% lower than what the franchise tag is, which is like 10 and change, around 10.6 million. So that's putting the AAV of a contract at about $8 or $8.5 million, which is far below market value for Marcus Maye. 8 to 8.5, somewhere in that range, would put him as the 18th highest paid safety in the NFL. That's just disrespectful. I'm sorry. Up to $14 million would put you at 5 or tied for 5th in the league, and somewhere in like a happy medium, $12 million, which is also like, that's semi-realistic, I would say, would put him at 7th, which is a fair number for what he was this past year and what he has been for his entire career. According to PFF, he has an 82.9 grade from last year, an 85.8 coverage grade from last year. He graded out as the 5th best safety in the NFL. He had 7 pass breakups, allowed a 58.7 completion percentage, and just 229 yards allowed. He's a team MVP. He's a captain, and he's a leader on your defense. I understand that this leak to Ian Rappaport is coming from the agents of Marcus Maye, so take that with a grain of salt. But still, $8.5 million, that's a low ball offer for him. I'm sorry. He is a better player than that. And I personally, in this instance, would pay him on a 3-year deal. I don't know, call it, whatever it is, a little over 11, 12, 13, 14, in that range, probably AAV. I understand wanting to bring your own guys in here. This is a different regime's pick. This is not a premium position. I know all that stuff. The age, I understand. But I think the difference here is you're kind of setting a precedent where if you were to pay him, it would be like, all right, you get hum in, you overachieve, which this Marcus Maye's been an overachievement, which is a good thing. As a second round pick, you're going to get a second contract. The Jets don't give out second contracts, which A, that shows that you draft poorly, and B, it shows that there's so much turnover on your roster. I don't know. Marcus Maye just seems different. I understand where some people are coming from, that you don't want to pay the premium position or you don't want to pay that much money. I get it, but it's not the Jamal Adams money. He was a good soldier throughout the whole Jamal Adams process, and the whole thing was you traded Jamal Adams and you got multiple picks, and it's because you had Marcus Maye. So now there's a chance that you could lose him as well. And then what does the safety position look like? Ashton Davis and question mark? I don't know. I just thought that number was a little jarring when it came in at $8 million. Thought that was a little bit low for him. I think it's fair to get on Joe Douglas for this one, and that doesn't necessarily have to mean that you don't want Joe Douglas to be the GM or that you think he's a bad GM. I don't. I think he's a pretty good GM, and I've agreed with a lot of things that he's done, but I'm not going to sit here and just be a yes man and say, yep, Joe Douglas thinks this, so I'm going to think this as well. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people are just going against whatever the Jets think because that's what they do as fans, but I think you got to fall somewhere in the middle on this one and call it like you see it. And for me, I think it was a low ball offer and a little disrespectful. So let me know what you think in the comments down below or on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.